I won't stop till I hear him say,
Okay, what is going on, CYPRX advanced YouTubers? Welcome back to the CYPRX YouTube page. In today's video breakdown, I have some very interesting video clips. We're going to do things a little bit different. I'm going to try to make this a little bit more of an informative video breakdown on some utility-driven assets and blockchain protocols that I personally do research on. We have some interesting video clips from some panel discussions from the BIS Innovation Summit. Some major key elite individuals speaking on behalf of the digital revolution that we are currently experiencing. People really need to truly wake up. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask that if you find this video helpful or at least knowledgeable in the form of value that it brings to you, make sure that you copy the link of this video down in the description below and share it to a friend or family member. In today's video breakdown, some of the key panelists that we are going to be listening to today are Sir John from the Bank of England. He is the Deputy Governor. We have Hbar Farouk, the Chief Executive Officer of Onyx by JP Morgan. This individual right here, if you're not too familiar with what JP Morgan is doing with the Onyx company, make sure that you go and do research on that. It is quite intensive. And then we also have Cecilia, I'm not going to butcher her last name, the first Deputy Governor of Rix Bank. So pay attention to what these individuals are saying. Again, this digital transformation is taking place. Sit back, relax, and enjoy these video clips that I have for you all today. If you all enjoy video breakdowns like this or you find them valuable, make sure that you smash that thumbs up button, help boost the YouTube algorithm, and smash that subscribe button. We do appreciate the love and the support. Without further ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Is very much the same, and we're witnessing a proliferation of what you might call payment life forms. We don't know which ones are going to survive, we don't know which ones are not, and of course we don't know how they will live with each other afterwards. And we're witnessing a proliferation of what you might call payment life forms. So the challenges posed both in the public and the private sector by legacy technologies, and that require significant investment if we're going to change them. At the center is the use of truncated and very fragmented data formats, and then the problems that arise from long transaction chains. And I think it's in those areas that this sort of technological development, whether it's wholesale CBDC, whether it's stable coins, whether it's new payment platforms, whether it's new payment platforms, whether it's new payment platforms, the sum are proposed, could offer solutions. And the roadmap therefore includes precisely work on these new areas to see what they can offer and how they should be integrated. That work is led by the BIS Innovation Hub and the CPMI, and actually.
So I want you all to focus in on some of the things that he said. He said a proliferation in our payment system is happening, and he also mentioned the collaboration between the public and the private sector and how our payment system that we currently operate on right now is fragmented. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a shift towards integrating blockchain technology into our financial system. People really need to wake up and understand this digital transformation that no one, aside from a very small percentage of the population, is paying attention to, will implement the use of decentralized ledgers and new payment protocols into the system. This digital transformation happening behind the scenes aims to increase efficiency, reduce costs, and enhance security in the financial industry. Now, when I say the financial industry, I mean the entire globe. Just like that of the internet and how it took over enhancing communications, we are headed towards a future where all assets, including the entire banking system, becomes tokenized on the blockchain. Now, these protocols are being actively adopted and developed by various organizations, financial institutions, and government agencies in the financial sector, and they're going to do everything in their power to weed out retail investors from securing their spot in the transfer of wealth via the new plumbing that is happening to our financial ecosystem, because they know how much money is about to come over to the blockchain space. There are a few leading blockchain protocols that I personally do research on that will run our financial system in the future. And again, my personal opinion. For example, Ripple and XRP being one of those blockchain-based digital payment protocols for fast and secure cross-border transactions. Now, you all also heard this individual in that video clip mention that the current payment system that we operate on right now is fragmented. People need to truly understand that the current financial system that we currently operate on is both a combination of modern and old systems. This cannot happen moving forward. If some banking institutions and some financial intermediaries are moving and transitioning over to the blockchain, those market participants that don't migrate over to the blockchain will have a very hard time becoming interoperable with every other systematic partner that moves over to the blockchain in the future. Some parts of our current systems, such as manual processes and paper-based systems, are outdated. However, many financial institutions have been making the efforts to modernize their systems through digitalization, automation, and the adoption of these new technologies, for example, Ripple or the Ripple protocol. The financial industry is a highly regulated industry, and changes occur gradually in our financial system, which has led to a fragmented system with a mix of old and new technologies. With that being said, once regulations come into this cryptocurrency market space and financial institutions have the green light to invest in these digital assets, we are going to see a transfer of wealth that has never been experienced before, and individuals really truly need to wake up to that.
It may be that one payment solution, one life form becomes dominant and everything else disappears. But it's certainly probable that new things will emerge and the roadmap will have to change. It will have to adapt, and some things will become more important, some less important. We hope we've designed it in a way that over time it can be flexible and adjust, looking to the future at the same time as we try and improve the present. And it may, as I say, be that one form comes to dominate, but it's much more likely that for the foreseeable future, there will be different payment systems and different rails. And getting a payment from A to B may involve switching between payment rails at some point out of the wholesale system into the retail system, or between rails that don't currently exist. And again, we have to ensure that that form of interoperability is present. Interoperability is present. And the last thing is very obvious. This has to be done by the public and the private sector together. If we don't work together on these changes, we won't get there.
So in the first part of that video clip, you heard him mention that one payment system could be the one that survives. However, it is more likely that multiple payment rails will be utilized in the future, providing interoperability for the new financial infrastructure. With that being said, I want you to take into consideration the public and the private sector and how they must work together. The collaboration between the public and the private sector is necessary for efficiently enhancing our current payment system. For us here as retail investors, that is a positive because that means that there are multiple blockchain technologies that could possibly run our financial infrastructure in the future, and we have the potential to invest in those blockchain protocols as of right now. The public sector, through government agencies and regulators, sets the framework for financial systems and can drive innovation through policies and investment. Now, the private sector, through financial institutions and technology companies, develops and implements new solutions and services. With that being said, a close collaboration between the two sectors can ensure that new payment solutions are both secure and accessible while also meeting regulatory requirements. For example, some of the protocols or companies that I personally do research on or that we do research on here at CYPRX is Ripple, or for example, maybe even Casper Labs, right? Ripple, if you aren't familiar, is a private sector payment system or a multilateral payment system. It is a blockchain-based digital payment protocol that enables fast and secure cross-border transactions. Now, when I'm personally looking to invest in a cryptocurrency company or a blockchain protocol or a digital asset, I look in depth with the work that the company is doing with the public and private sector. Ripple, for example, has been working with both private sector and public sectors to promote its payment solution. Now, in terms of the public sector, Ripple has been actively engaged with regulators and central banks, which is something that the CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, has been mentioning for quite some time to the general public around the world to educate them about its technology and advocate for its adoption. The company has also participated in public-private initiatives to promote financial innovation and digital currencies. As you all have seen, Brad Garlinghouse has been on many panels throughout the years in the life of Ripple, the company, right? Now, we also have Casper, the Casper Network and Casper Labs. Personally, I'm heavily invested in Casper and the Casper token itself. The team there on Casper Labs is engaging with both the public and private sector to enhance blockchain adoption. You all can go watch panel discussions of the CEO and the CTO of Casper Labs and the Casper Network. As you all heard, that representative from the Bank of England, you heard him say that multiple payment rails will be used in the future. In my personal opinion, the Casper network and the Ripple protocol will be some of those blockchain technologies that are used in the future via our new payment system. Now, you also heard this individual over here mention interoperability.
That form of interoperability is present.
With that being said, I'm heavily invested into the Quant network because the Quant network focuses on interoperability. The Quant network, for those of you who don't know, is a blockchain platform that aims to provide a secure and interoperable infrastructure for digital assets and decentralized applications, and has specifically worked directly with or indirectly with the Bank of England. The company's flagship product, Overledger, is a blockchain operating system that enables interoperability between different blockchain networks and enables communication and transfer of assets and data between them. You all heard this individual say that there's going to be multiple payment rails and that they must have interoperability for this all to work. Well, Quant Network's focus is on interoperability, and it is aimed at improving the efficiency and usability of blockchain technology and promoting the integration of blockchain solutions into our existing financial ecosystem.
Competition and efficiency. So I'm very happy that the BIS is taking a leading role together with other international organizations, IMF, World Bank, and the FSB. And this is an area I think we need to be bold and we need to persistent and patient if we are to be successful.
Now, what you just heard was a representative from Rick's Bank mention that these major key elite individuals need to be persistent and patient. Now, that is extremely hard to come by in the retail sector, mainly because of social media, because of YouTube influencers, because of Twitter influencers who continuously stimulate people's dopamine in the form of these bullish moon boy targets. People really truly need to understand that it is going to be difficult to predict the exact time frame for the widespread adoption of distributed ledger technology. However, it is widely expected to occur within the next decade, and people are sleeping on this. There's only about 4%, I think the statistics that I saw were 4.5% of the population invested in digital assets. With that being said, you as a retail investor need to have massive amount of patience as long-term holders in this space. You need to have a well-defined plan when you are coming into this market space, and you need to actually set yourself goals. Don't just come into this market space for quick fixes, thinking that you're going to invest a couple $100 and then become a millionaire in the next couple of weeks. That is not a realistic approach. You need to understand that no banking institution or financial system works that way. And if you are looking for those quick dopamine fix gains, I suggest doing research on day trading. Okay. Why is that? Because the majority of individuals that come into this market space don't understand how market cycles work in the form of bullish markets and bearish markets. And right now we are currently in a bear market, and those can last for many months to maybe even years at times. With that being said, again, you heard these key elite individuals mention persistence and patience. So don't you think as a retail investor, you should have the same characteristic traits with a long-term perspective? Now, that's not to burst anybody's bubble, and that's not to say that we could experience a bull run in the short term. However, the time frame for widespread adoption of distributed ledger technologies is, again, expected to take place between 2025 and 2030. That's just to give you a broader perspective on how early we are into the adoption phase of this blockchain technology.
So being bold, being persistent, and being patient, I think, are the things we have to be on both the public and the private side. I think it's building infrastructures that are the key feature for us on the public side to do, but also regulate and supervise the private sector in a way that meets the objectives that we want to achieve. And I'll stop there.
Okay, so last but not least, this is the last part of this video breakdown. She mentioned regulating the private sector, and those are the individuals that they're going to want to do business with in the future. Well, for example, LCX is a blockchain company that provides a secure and compliant platform for digital assets, and that I do a lot of personal research on. Why? Because the company has worked with a number of regulators in order to ensure its platform and services meet the relevant regulatory requirements. For example, here are a few regulators that LCX has worked with: the Liechtenstein Financial Market Authority, the FMA. They've worked with the Swiss Financial Market Supervisory Authority, the FINMA. They've also worked with Malta Financial Services Authority, the MFSA. Now, these regulators are responsible for overseeing and regulating the blockchain and cryptocurrency industry, and LCX has worked closely with them to ensure its platform and services are compliant with relevant laws and regulations. You heard the individual again from Riskbank, the representative, mentioned that they want to regulate the private sector. So when I'm personally doing research on cryptocurrency projects, I like to make sure that they are working with regulators, not against them. Now, not only do I like to make sure that these companies, these private sector entities, are working with regulators, but I also like to do research and see if these crypto blockchain companies are integrated with already regulated entities. For example, LCX has worked with banks, stock exchanges, insurance companies, payment providers, and auditing firms to make sure that they are fully compliant with the entire ecosystem, not just with regulators, but also already regulated entities. And by working with these regulated entities, LCX is aiming to promote the adoption of blockchain technology and regulated industries to ensure its platform and services are secure, transparent, and compliant across the whole entire ecosystem. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, again, pay attention to detail. These key elite panelists and individuals, they mentioned multiple payment rails being used in our new financial ecosystem. They mentioned patience and persistence. They mentioned a proliferation, a change is 110% happening, and individuals are sleeping on this information. We talked about Ripple. We talked about Casper. We talked about Quant. We talked about LCX. Those are all utility-driven assets, in my personal opinion, that are going to help run the new plumbing to our financial ecosystem in the future. This is not financial advice. These are just multiple examples of some of the utility-driven assets that I think are going to play an important role in running our new financial system. If you all found this video informative and helpful, smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Remember, we ask that you copy the link to this YouTube video, share it with a friend or family member. That'll really help get the word out on this CYPRX YouTube page. Go back, watch some of our previous YouTube video breakdowns that we've done. Also, don't forget that we now have playlists running on our CYPRX page, so that way you guys can actually go back and watch these videos in the form of an easy to navigate playlist. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, as always, be cognizant, be aware, and I will see you all in the next YouTube video breakdown.
I won't stop till I hear him say